From chart-topping hits to fashion mogul, Sean Diddy Combs built an empire that seemed unstoppable. But behind the glitz and glamour lies a story of success, scandal, and the struggles that brought his empire to the brink. From revolutionizing hip-hop to breaking into fashion, film, and television, Diddy's influence has touched every corner of the entertainment world. But with fame came challenges, and the once untouchable mogul now faces a series of scandals that threaten to overshadow his legacy. Born in 1969, Sean Diddy Combs has spent more than 5 decades relentlessly pursuing fame, success, and power. From early life, his will was clear. Formed by his background, he frequently talks of his parents as the height of fashion in their Harlem area. Until his sad death in 1972, his father was a diligent guy, combining duties as a driver and a Board of Education official. Former model Combs' mother, Janice, was left to raise his sister Keisha and him alone. She supported the family by working 4 jobs, therefore developing in Combs a strong feeling of self-reliance and fortitude. One pivotal event in his early years was the time another child stole his money when he was 9 years old. Combs raced home crying, and his mother would let him back into the house. She instructed him to go back and take back what was his. She counseled him a lesson about standing up for himself that stayed with him all his life. If anyone ever puts their hands on you, make sure they never do it again. Combs subsequently remembered in an Oprah 2006 interview how that day transformed him. His mother understood that weakness may be taken advantage of in a hard world. The future billionaire was formed by this mindset. Maybe even his nickname, Puffy, derived from his childhood tantrums, huff and puff technique. Early on, Combs developed his work ethic because he started his first job at age 12, delivering newspapers. He worked a variety of jobs throughout the years: gas station, Mexican restaurant, even lemonade vendor. Under the Fresh Air Fund, a nonprofit initiative for inner-city children, he also spent a summer with an Amish family in Pennsylvania. Eventually, his mother relocated the family from packed uptown Manhattan to the more bucolic Mount Vernon in Westchester County, where Combs attended the elite Mount St. Michael Academy. There, he donned tidy uniforms, played football, and first focused on being an NFL player. But a leg injury made him change his aspirations. Combs started laying the basis of his empire at Howard University in Washington, D.C. In the late 1980s, at a period when New York's hip-hop scene was flourishing, he registered at the historically black college. Ever the hustler, Combs became immediately a social figure at university, planning events and assembling an entourage. Driven by his entrepreneurial energy, he sold old-term papers, ran a shuttle service to the airport, and even pushed t-shirts and sodas. People observed his confidence and showy manner. Classmate and fellow event planner Derek Angeliti remembered how Combs would draw attention at venues with his avant-garde style and explosive dancing. His aspirations matched his growing notoriety. He started campaigning record executives in New York for possibilities while still in school, finally finding an internship at Uptown Records under Andre Harrell. Combs worked 80-hour weeks, running errands and tackling every activity he could to establish his value even while he traveled between DC and New York. His diligence paid off. By 1991, Harrell had elevated him to an A&R executive. Combs started to become known for his talent identification and cultivation skills during this period. Combs' career did not, however, lack gloomy times. A charitable basketball game he helped plan at Harlem City College became a disaster in 1991 when crowds caused a stampede, killing 9 people. The incident profoundly shook Combs, who subsequently detailed the agony of witnessing individuals crushed in the panic. "City College is something I deal with every day of my life," he stated in 1998, noting the weight of the event. Combs' popularity kept climbing even with the tragedy. He signed Brooklyn rapper Christopher Wallace, popularly known as the Notorious B.I.G., to Uptown Records in 1992. One of the most important alliances in hip-hop history would grow out of this one. But Combs found himself in conflict with Harrell and was finally let go after Uptown's distributor delayed the release of Biggie's debut album. Seeing Combs' potential, Harrell urged him to forge his own road and advised, "You're red hot right now. I'm letting you go to get wealthy." Based on his guidance, Combs started Bad Boy Records in 1993. Biggie's Ready to Die's 1994 release was his first big triumph. The CD confirmed Combs' standing as a major player in the music business. His career took off, and he broadened his interests, opening a restaurant, Justin's Restaurant, in 1997 and a fashion brand, Sean John, the next year. His commercial endeavors were booming. Bad Boy Records brought in millions of dollars annually. Still, he was surrounded by debate. Following an incident at Universal Music's offices in 1999, Combs was taken under custody under allegations of assaulting an executive. Later that year, headlines were generated from a shooting incident in a Manhattan nightclub where Combs was present with then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez. Combs was cleared of all charges. However, the episode accentuated his already vivid image. Sean Combs changed his name to P. Diddy soon after his 2001 acquittal, trying to separate himself from his bad boy reputation. When he considered this option, he told Vanity Fair in 2021 that each name change represented the end of one era and the start of another. Bold, unrepentant hip-hop energy and a brazen attitude marked the Puff Daddy phase. Combs ventured into acting while releasing The Saga Continues, showing up in 2 films, including Monsters Ball, which brought Halle Berry an Oscar. He also entered reality TV and started developing fresh musicians. Combs has stressed his unrelenting work ethic over his career. Once, he told Forbes, "I've always worked harder than everyone else." His impact transcended music by 2002. Designing menswear, he was traveling on the Concorde and was nominated for Menswear Designer of the Year by the CFDA. Legal problems with sweatshop claims in Honduras dogged Sean John's fashion line, but they did not stop him from starting the Vote or Die campaign or making appearances at the 2004 Super Bowl. Kim Porter delivered their twins in 2006, but their relationship broke off after Porter found he had another child with a longtime friend. Around this time, he started closely collaborating with singer Cassie Ventura, or Cassie, who subsequently sued him in 2023 for abuse. Beginning when Cassie was 19, their romance drew public attention and came apart in 2018. Combs' personal life was further turbulent when he allegedly attacked Drake in 2014 and was subsequently arrested for assaulting his son's football coach. Still, accusations were later withdrawn. Combs thought about still another name change by 2017, deciding on Love or Brother Love, which he formally adopted in 2021. He described his new identity as one of a mission focused on love and constructive transformation. Notwithstanding these developments, tragedy claimed Kim Porter in 2018 from pneumonia. Combs openly shared his grief, and in December 2022, he named his 7th kid Love Sean Combs, in honor of his changing public and personal identity. Now, he looks to be a typical guy. Well, it cannot be much different from the reality. Once regarded as a towering presence in music and business, Sean Combs has come under close examination in recent years, particularly given recent accusations in terms of his personal life and relationships. Combs was inundated with lawsuits in November 2023, just 5 years following his 2018 interview with Vanity Fair, in which he claimed the hashtag #MeToo movement had inspired him and demonstrated how maximum change was possible. These cases claiming sexual assault further muddled his legacy. Cassie Ventura, Combs' former protege and long-term lover, was among the more well-publicized examples. Cassie's lawsuit claimed years of patterns of abuse. Combs paid Cassie an unidentified amount after settling within just 1 day of the complaint being brought. Still, his legal problems were only beginning to surface. 2 more cases later, with claims rooted in the 1990s, the early years of Combs' ascent to popularity. Under the Adult Survivors Act of New York, which let victims sue regardless of when the claimed abuse took place, these cases were registered. The legislation provided a 1-year window for such claims to be brought forward, which resulted in a tsunami of lawsuits immediately before it was due. Combs' legal team swiftly discounted these charges, characterizing them as opportunistic financial grabs. Denying all accusations, they said Combs had behaved honorably. Still, the legal challenges mounted. Former employee Rodney Lil Rod Jones sued Combs in February 2024, claiming sexual harassment and making threatening statements. Should that not be sufficient, federal officials shortly raided the Los Angeles and Miami properties of Combs. Leading the raids were Homeland Security Investigations New York, which kept quiet about the specifics but said only that they were part of an ongoing investigation. Lawyers representing Combs denounced the methods used by the federal investigators as an overuse of military-level force. Though Combs was not charged with any crimes, the pressure grew. Rumors abound, and the prospect of legal repercussions loomed big, evoking memories of Combs' past brushes with the law, notably his 2001 trial, in which he shook obviously in court before being cleared. When CNN published CCTV footage seeming to support Cassie's first allegations of assault in May 2024, it marked a significant turning point. In a 2016 incident, the footage shows Combs hunting her down a Los Angeles hotel corridor before savagely attacking her close to an elevator. The very graphic footage presented a negative picture of Combs' behavior. Combs released a social media apology acknowledging that his actions in the video were inexcusable in response to public anger. Declaring he was somewhat ashamed of his conduct, he admitted this episode was one of the darkest times of his life. Combs also posted that he sought therapy and enrolled in rehab to handle his problems following the 2016 event. "I hit rock bottom," he said, noting his regret and the gravity of his acts. Though it was difficult, he underlined the need to think back on such terrible events.
"I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now."
But when you have video evidence like this, it's tough to denounce that. I'm sure he was legally advised on what to say.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life.
So I think he didn't really have a choice but to come out and address it.
Had to ask God for his mercy and grace.
And asserted he had been working on personal development since. For Combs' once flowing commercial empire especially, the fallout from these events has been significant. One of the largest stores of Combs' Sean John apparel line, Macy's, decided in November 2023 to remove all Sean John items from their online store as well as actual locations. The brand suffered a great loss, even though it had been a mainstay of urban fashion for decades. As the problems grew, Combs also resigned as chairman of Revolt TV, the television network he had started around the same time. Hulu, which had been working on a reality show focused on Combs and his family, also stopped all production entirely. These events suggested a deeper, permanent change in Combs' position in the business and entertainment sectors. Once connected with success and creativity, his brand was now buried in legal problems and scandal. For Combs, the future's unknown. Once praised for his unrelenting work ethic, inventiveness, and economic sense, his reputation has suffered, and his empire appears to be on an unstable foundation. Although he sought to atone and acknowledged mistakes in some situations, the knock-on effects of these litigation, charges, and commercial losses are indisputable. Once marked by swagger and confidence, the era of Sean Diddy Combs today seems eclipsed by scandal and a fast-dissolving legacy for many. Diddy's journey serves as a powerful reminder that even the brightest stars can stumble. His story's still unfolding, and only time will tell how it ultimately ends. If you found this exploration of Diddy's rise and fall fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on more in-depth stories about the biggest names in entertainment.